Hi, my name's Haifa Bint-Kadi. I'm the curator at the Yonkers Riverfront Public Library gallery called the Riverfront Art Gallery down on the Hudson River. But I'm also an arts educator. I love teaching art. I love showing things that I do in my practice and just a variety of mixed media techniques. So today I'm going to show how to create these lovely Matchbox collages. So this is a sample. This is the outside. That's the inside. They're really easy to do. You only need a few materials, magazine images that are small, a kind of adhesive, some small scissors, any little images that appeal to you, something to press like an Exacto knife or a pencil, something to help you press the glue down. I'm going to make it very easy for you, and I just want to thank you for being with me today. Please like this video, please follow our YouTube channel, and by all means contact me if you want more information. Haifa, H-A-I-F like in Frank, A, at ypl.org. And let's go to the studio. Okay, so we're going to get started on doing our matchbook collage. And I have a few here that I've created that I'd like to share with you. This is one. It says, "As proper news came," and as you open it up, there's a pigeon. It's got the ruins of the Colosseum and a map of Rome and my memories of Italy. I really remember the pigeons being everywhere. So that is a tribute to the pigeons. And then this is just something very simple. It's a turkey and a tree. And please keep in mind that the Matchbox collages started like this, just a simple matchbook, and that's Matchbox, I guess I should say, and that's what we're going to use today. This is one that shows it's really about processions, and I have feet and a procession of elephants, a procession of priests, and then I've decorated my matchbox on all sides. I love to leave the part where you strike the match on. I like just knowing that this really was a matchbox. Then I have something here that I created out of an old jewelry box, and it's about monarchies, and for me, just how broken they are. And I show a vulture eating the carcass. You can take whatever meaning you want from that, and that's created out of what used to be a simple jewelry box. And then the final one that I have here is a matchbox that has musical paper all over it. Oh, I didn't finish covering it, so I'll have to get to that today. And then as you open it up, you see that the box is filled with music paper and the other half of him. And it's just a tribute to the contribution, actually the whole foundation of jazz being derived from African Americans and the rich cultural gifts that we have received. So, all right, we're going to get started. I have this matchbox here, and I'm going to start by just using some images that I've gathered. So I have just a landscape here and a fish, and here's someone standing on a mountain. And for me, the story here is going to be one of journeys. Whenever I do my Matchbox collages, I'm always thinking about Sabine and Griffin, who communicated through collage. That's a book that I believe we have here at the library. But I like to think of a story or juxtaposition. Nothing too complicated, very simple. So here I have the landscape of what seems to be a vista of plateaus here. And then I have this image, and I'm going to have a fish swimming through, because that just makes no sense at all, and that's what I love about these Matchbox stories. It's just having a bit of sense of humor or wonder. Yeah, so, all right, so it's gonna start with using some of my supplies. And today I'm using art glitter glue. I love this glue. It's wonderful for paper. It dries clear. You could also use a glue stick, or you could use matte medium, either one of those. And I have a brush to help with the glue. I also have two kinds of scissors, very small scissors. And I have an Exacto knife. Sometimes you need to get very fine cuts. I also have this sticky foam, and I use it to create dimensions in my Matchbox, and you'll see how I do that in a little bit. And then I also have some background papers here. I have some map images, some pattern paper, and have a couple of ideas about how I want to cover this, but I'm going to do the inside first. So it's going to start with gluing down. Here's another great use for your Exacto knife, picking up things. It's great for that. So I'm going to start with my glitter glue and just applying some glue on the inside of my Matchbox, just like that. Putting my background paper on the inside. I've cut this to fit. I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to use the back of my Exacto knife just to make sure that the paper is down solid. I'm giving it a rub. You could use almost anything for that. I don't think you can use a credit card because it's going to be too wide, but the flat end of a colored pencil could work. I'm not worried if I get any glue on the outside because this glitter glue does dry clear. And then I want to get my fish over on this side, kind of sticking up. But I also have this figure that's going to be in front sticking up. So I'm going to start with getting a little bit of dimension behind the fish. So that means using one of these. I'm going to cut it in half because I don't need the whole thing. I could just glue it on top of each other if I wanted it to really stick out, but I just need it to have a little bit of dimension. So the great thing about this adhesive foam is that it's already has adhesive on both sides. But if you have that foam craft foam, you can put glue on that and that will work. Okay, the fish is going to go here. So the fish is sticking up a bit. And then this is a person standing on top of a mountain, and that's going to go just inside the box. So let's get some glue on my tabs. I've made these tabs out of cardstock. You can see I've done it like a hinge so that I could glue this image to the bottom and the side of the Matchbox. I've also done something else because the figure is slim and they have a walking stick here. I knew if I cut this out of magazine and tried to glue it just like that, it would not hold up. So I have also glued this to cardstock and then cut it out so that it would be a bit stiffer. So now this will be a little bit tricky, but I'm not worried. I've done this many times. So I'm going to get a bit of glue there, and get it to the bottom and the side. So to get it to the side, I'm going to take my Exacto knife and give it a press. Get it in there just inside the box, just inside, because I don't want it to hit the top of the box, this part, when I slide it in and out. So I'll give it a test. Seems to be working fine. I'm going to just be a little bit more precise here, make sure it's really sticking down. And there we go. There's the fish, there's the man. Let's see if I can push this fish down a bit. Yes, so it's almost could be a fish tank where somebody's observing this giant fish in the tank. But now the outside. Okay, I have a variety of papers here. I have some text page about birds. I think that's going to be for my next collage. But I have some fish paper that I cut out of a magazine. And I have some pattern paper here and some map pages, which makes sense to me. So I might just get a bit of everything on here. I like this that's got that bit of text there. I really like that. So I think I'm going to get that on the box. I'm just going to trace this. That will be the front. And I'll cut this out. I'm going to cut just inside the line. Just test it. Make sure it fits. Yep, it seems to fit fine, but that's the side I want to glue. Okay, so I like that side because it almost could be like roads or a map image without the text. So let's see. That's going to go on here. And I'm going to use my credit card to just give it a rub. And now let's have a little bit of fun. I want a bit of this, but I also want a bit of the fish. So I think I want to tear. I love the way torn paper looks. So I'm going to tear the fish. And I'm tearing away on this side. Let's see, how long can I make it? Okay. Okay, so I have the torn fish there. And let's see, I'd like to get a little bit of this on there. So I think I'll do a little bit of this right here. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's start with this one right here. So I like this, and let me tell you why. Because, you know, here are the fish swimming, but then the shape of the paper is like the shape of the fish. And then we have this point down here, and it helps just bring our eye back around and travel through the composition. So even though this is tiny, we still want to think about composition and making things look beautiful. And it also, it's almost, think of a book in the table of contents. This is the cover, and it's telling you a bit about what you're going to find when you open it up. I may even, I haven't decided, but I'm also thinking of doing some paper that swirls down here. I looked for some blue paper today. I didn't quite find it, but I may just use this paper. So, all right, let's do the outside cover, and then we'll go on to that. So now we have the other side, and I think for the other side, I'd like to keep it simple and just use a bit of map page. So that's gonna fit partially. Let's see. Yeah, but then I've got some extra here, so I'm gonna have to trim just a bit. mark off where I need to cut. And I'm gonna need to trim that, but because this isn't long enough, I'll be able to use this piece on the other side. So I think I want to use this color, and then I can use this here. So yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's get this gluing. Okay, now see that little piece? I'm not going to throw that away. I have a use for that. I'm making sure that I always get the edges and the corners. This is a very old map page. It's from a very old map. I think it was a road map. But I don't know how you are. I just don't throw things away. Even that little bit that I cut off, you may be wondering why I saved that. I'm going to show you right now. Pull this down just a little. There we go. Okay, now I still have a bit sticking up there. I need to trim that. I can also trim that with my Exacto knife. Okay, so there we go, but here's that bit of map that I cut off, and it's got a tiny bit of road on it. I want to glue that right there. Here we go. You could not escape. And I like, there's an N on there, and you almost could read that as maybe it's saying that that's north, but there's a bit of road here, Broadway, and it mimics this red line here. Really love that. I see a bit sticking up here, so I need a little bit more glue. Okay, I'm really happy with this. It's not very involved. You don't have to make your project really involved. Sometimes simple is really the best policy. So here we go. Here's my Matchbox collage. You open it up, and the fish is revealed. I do feel like I need a bit more here though. So I have another idea for this paper, but I can use this bit of green here. So first I'm going to measure it so that it fits the matchbox. So I know I want it to be like that. So I'm going to take it like this and measure the length. And I apologize if once in a while I get off camera. I am new to doing recorded programs, although I've been doing them live throughout the pandemic. But recording is a little bit different, and I ask you to please be patient with me. I will get better and better. I remember that Silva book, better and better every day, better and better in every way. That I will. Okay, so there we go. Now I want them to just be kind of sticking up there, and I thought I would glue them to the edges here, but I'm thinking they may not stick as well to the edges, so I may do something else. I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create a tab here at the bottom, and I'm gonna have them sticking up that way. Almost like seaweed. Oh, I like this idea, Haifa. My creative juices are flowing. Okay, so let's give it a trim. And I'm gonna trim this, let's see. So that's about the right size. Let me just even it up. All right, so I have this idea to make this look like seaweed. And I'm going to do the same thing on the end piece, this piece right here. I'm going to trim that off and give it a few swiggles on this side. Okay, that to me can look like seaweed, and you can almost barely see the fish back there, so I may trim off one piece, maybe in the middle. Let's just see. I'm gonna trim off, I think, this one on the end, and let's see if it reveals a little bit more of the fish. I like the idea of having to search for the fish in there, kind of like that gentleman who's searching and looking. Okay, I think this can work. Let's try it. But, okay. So you have to really look for that fish. I like that. Let me just move it down a bit though. So you see, there we go. Now you see a bit of the fish head. Okay, I am really happy with that. Okay, so that's a Matchbox collage completed. Let's clean up a little bit and go on to another one. Okay, I've got another box here and another idea. Not completely developed, but I've got an idea, and it has to do with these pigeons. I don't know what it is about the pigeons today, but I'm really into the pigeons. So it's about the pigeons and these men. The original scene that I took this from was a hunting scene, and they've got their rifles loaded. I also covered this with cardstock as well so that it would be stiff and it would stand up. I've also got a hinge so that it could be in the front. And then here's my pigeons. So that's going to be the background. So let's get some glue on there. And I may have cut that a little big, but I'm not going to worry about that. Here, it's not quite even. There we go. So I'm going to get it in there. So there are my pigeons in a box. You know that expression from Portlandia, put a bird on it? I have to always put a bird on it. Okay, so I see my foreground is just a little wider than it should be. So I'm going to give that just a little bit of a trim here. See if I can make that fit a little bit better. And this also, when I look at this, I love it. I find it very interesting, very simple, but very interesting. And sometimes I overdo it because I think there needs to be one more thing in there. And if I was to put one more thing, it would be a little egg hanging down from the top. But I'm going to be happy with it the way it is. And if I come across a little egg, I will save it and glue it in here. All right, so there's my tab. I'm going to use my pencil to push it down and scooch it. Oh, are you still a little bit too wide? You are. Nope, did I get you in? Okay, I did. All right, it's in and it's standing up. So I'm feeling good about that. So that was easy to do. Let's cover the top. Okay, so I have some different ideas about the top. One of them is this. It reminds me of that painting where the two fingers are touching. And I thought that's so cool with those birds. So I think what I want to do is get this, I want to get this on the front. And it may be with this text behind it. So this is called Feeding Birds in Winter. All right, let's try it. Okay. Yeah, it works. Okay, so let's get that glued on the top. Oh, now I need the Exacto knife. See what a great job that does picking up. So I'm just gonna slide it around, make sure the glue's touching everywhere. Okay. So that's on, and now I want to get this. So I think I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna cut out the heads. I'm just hoping I can make this I'm gonna separate this bird from the log, and then let's see how close I can get the, and let me get this beak into a point. Okay, I'm just gonna sharpen the beak. Okay, so if I have the beak there, almost at the top, and then this guy at the bottom, yeah, that can work. That can really work. Okay, I'm gonna move this bird over here, over to the end, and move this one here. Can be right there. Oh, look at that. I love it. Okay. So let's get some glue going here. And glue is spilling out of all ends. You needn't worry because it will dry clear and you won't see it at the end of the day. Okay, so one bird on. This is the next bird. I love that. Oh, I just think that's gorgeous. Barely touching. Okay, so now we have a little bit of trimming to do. All right, so now time for the glue. It took me more time to do the outside than the inside. Okay, I want the beaks to just barely be touching. Oh yeah, really nice. Okay, let's just make sure we get a good seal here. I'm really happy with the cover of this because you see what feels like nurturing here, and you get a bit of the text about birds, and then you open it up and then you see the humans as predators and the birds in the background, and it's a story of our times, right? Okay, so now the back cover. Love the sewing tissue paper, so I think what I want to do is get something here for the background, and I don't really have a paper ready. So this is a good time for me to show you something. Now I know I have this tissue paper. I know I want to do something with that, but I'd like to show you how I look for papers. So I have a handmade book, and look at this. This is a library where we used to put our cards when we would check out books, but I use that as pockets in my journal. So I have created a concertina book, and this is how I organize some of my collage images. So here I have map pages. I don't think I want map for the birds. Here I have architectural papers. That's not quite what I'm looking for. And I have animals, plants, and then I can turn it over. Here I have text, stamps, and another library card pocket. And here I have some more. I have text, and here I have background papers. So I'm thinking here in my background papers, I will have something. I've got a lot of background papers, so let's take those out for a moment and see if we can find the right background paper for the back of my book. So a lot of patterns. Oh, I like that. Is it wide enough? Oh, not quite wide enough. Let's see, what about you? Almost. Oh, look at this one, feathers. Perfect. Perfect. It might even be fur, but I'm gonna pretend it's feathers for the time being. Okay, so feathers. Here we go. I'm definitely gonna use that. Okay, so let me trace out where I need to cut. Okay, I'm going to cut just inside the lines. And I'll do something else with this feather paper. I'm not sure what yet, but it will come to me. I think it's just a little bit, might be a little bit crooked. Okay. All right, I'm happy with that. I do not throw away scraps. I organize my scraps in that concertina book that you just saw because I use them in these Matchbox collages. I love making these. I find it very relaxing. I find it relaxing because you don't have to find large images. The tiniest little image can have significance. And it's easy to do. It's stress-free. It's kind of odd piece. I don't know, maybe this weird shape here, that might be nice. Not quite sure. This almost looks like tree bark. I like that too. Maybe a bit of the tissue. Yeah, I think I'll use a bit of the tissue there and just tear it. Okay, that. I like that. Okay, put some of this glitter glue over the top, down along here. Very nice. Okay, that's nice. I like that. So that feels complete to me, I think. Maybe, I don't know why I want to incorporate this here, but I do. All right, so I'm going to need to do it. It's collage, folks. You can just go with your gut. Go with your gut. You'll be right every time. Okay. All right, I'm feeling good about that. All right, let's put these are background texture papers. You know, I keep in mind all my different compartments and what I'm looking for, like this. This is really nice. I don't know what it is. It's got a bit of text on it. Looks like I started to use it in a collage and then didn't. And this is an old book index. And, you know, I just keep all kinds of things, and they all come in handy. So this is really an ephemera pocket. So that's where I keep my ephemera. Okay, let's just read it. All right. So here we go. Here is the Journey Observatory, where we have a giant fish. And this is another pigeon story. And I love this image on the front. And then when you open it up, we have that. Okay, so I really want to thank you for signing on to the YouTube channel and for watching and being with me today. And I want to invite you to please like this video, like our page, follow us. I do a class on Monday nights called Meditative Art Mondays. You can see it on our Facebook page at Riverfront Art Gallery. And I also do a workshop on Fridays called Flow Friday at 9:30 to 10:30. Monday it's 5:30 to 6:30. Friday it's 5:30 to 6:30. And you can see details about both of those on our website at the Yonkers Riverfront Library or on our Facebook page at Riverfront Art Gallery. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day today.